So today I'm going to talk about a new land surface reanalysis dataset at a regional scale, which was set up through the Copernicus framework. So a land surface reanalysis dataset describes the evolution of surface variables such as soil moisture, soil temperature, or snowpack characteristic, for example. Usually, those datasets come from the standalone integration of a land surface model covering several decades and driven by meteorological data from atmospheric reanalysis datasets. So, just to remind what exists, the ERA interim land was released several years ago by the European Centre, and now you can download data from the Climate Data Store to retrieve ERA cyclone dataset, which is a global land surface reanalysis at higher horizontal resolution. And at regional scale, you can the Mescan Sofex dataset was released 2 years ago at 5.5 kilometers over Europe. And now I will speak about a new one called Seraland, which has the same horizontal resolution of its previous one. So this this land surface reanalysis dataset is based on the offline integration of the land and lake components of the land surface model Sofex version 8.1 without using an online data assimilation system. The model explicitly solves mass and heat diffuse equation in the soil. Furthermore, the model uses a simple parameterization of the soil organic carbon effect on hydraulic and thermal soil property. This process has important impact on the summer soil temperature profile because it allows the soil to remain cool during spring and summer. So it leads to a better representation of the permafrost. So to reach an equilibrium in the initial states of the soil temperature and soil moisture, a 10-year spin-up period is needed. We plan to loop several times over the 12 previous months from the starting date. So for the lake, we will use a lake model. So this land surface model will be driven by the surface meteorological data from the Sierra atmospheric reanalysis dataset at 3 hourly time step. So you can see that the horizontal grid spacing of the land surface model is exactly the same as the Sierra atmospheric reanalysis. So no downscaling is needed. So the short wave reduction, long wave reduction at the surface, but also the 10 meters wind speed and surface pressure will be used directly as forcing data for the land surface model. Then the Sierra atmospheric system also has its own online surface analysis for 2 meters temperature and humidity. So those fields will be also used directly as forcing data. But for precipitation, it will be a bit different. Firstly, a total daily accumulation precipitation fields that come from the atmospheric system will be used as an input to a precipitation analysis system, which is based on optimal interpolation. So this system can merge precipitation from the atmospheric system with in situ rain gauge observation. So this system can generate daily data of precipitation, and we need 3 hourly time steps. So the total daily analysis precipitation will be disaggregated to 3 hourly time step using the temporal distribution of the total 3-hourly accumulation precipitation from the SERA system. Then the total precipitation will be split into rain and snow using a rain-snow transition function that depends on the 2 meters temperature and humidity. Then the land surface model will be integrated on the whole period. So I will focus on rain gauge observation network. So these two maps show the network of the rain gauge observations for a particular day for the RERA project and for SERA. So the color represents different databases, and you can see that in RERA, 4 precipitation databases were merged together, and in SERA, there will be 10 precipitation databases. So the network density of in situ rain observation is higher will be higher in SERA. So now this is just an example of a total daily precipitation analysis. I remind you that it's just is a merge of precipitation with the atmospheric system and with in situ observation. So you can see on the map that there is sometimes some red eye spot. So this is probably due to extreme value in the rain gauge data. So this is a problem, and it's not yet resolved. So we can also have the opposite. So sometimes rain gauge data have 0 value. So you can see some white points. So we need a quality control to remove wrong observation. So for the wrong 0 value, a simple system, a simple algorithm has been developed. So when the wrong 0 value observation is located in a band of latitude with a typical time scale, then the data is removed from the dataset. So this criterion was chosen to not give too many false alarms. And you can see the time series. So the time series show you the number of stations being deleted as a function of time, and you can see the number is about 20 remove observation per day. So this simple algorithm is an efficient way to remove wrong isolated observation. So this work is still in progress. So and to finish, I will present you the RERAland versus SERAland inventory of field. So there is some common field with both databases. For example, you can have for the surface, the surface fluxes for solar or thermal energy, but also for sensible and latent fluxes. And also there is some variables about the snow, like density, snow density, snow height, or snow water equivalent, etc. Now in SERAland, you will have access to new variables like evaporation, snow melt, a fraction of snow cover, etc. And this new field also are in common with LR5 land. So interesting combination can be done with both database. So I remind you also that in SERAland, the system include a lake model, so 8 lake variables also will be available in the database. So all data will be available at all time step, and the dataset will be available next year. Thank you for your attention.